Good afternoon, friends. Today is Friday, August 2nd. I'm recording this for the next week starting on Monday, August 5th. So first, let's start off looking at what's going on with the S&P. This is like a ever-ending, rising markets. S&P making new highs. Right now it's 1704. Actually, I'm looking at the ES right now, but S&P is right now I think closed at 1710, and my upward target is something like a 17 to 1720 type of thing, and I guess that's maybe it's probably heading towards to. Let's also look at the S&P. I wanted to show you S&P actually. This is not the daily, but I wanted to change it to weekly and show you something different. Let's just see if I can change this to this. Yes, here. This is the S&P weekly. I think 42%. Usually 42% is not necessarily a great thing for me to trade it in an ABC type of a patterns, but 42 kind of closely comes close to the pullback. So for me the pullback is up to 38%, but here it is 42%, 42%, and I guess that in this case the target is up to 1778. This could happen, because I think the market is in a pretty solid bullish condition. But I'm going to be actually looking at some kind of a paring down some of the positions about 1720 type of thing, just for the couple of weeks and before it actually rallies to the higher level. So I'm going to take out this weekly ABC from here. Let's go back and start looking at a couple of other things. I wanted to show you gold. This has been absolutely amazing. I think somebody did ask me this question, and then I said probably gold may be up. Not that one. Let's just go to daily chart here. I'm thinking that gold probably is headed towards this the mid band, about 1384 to $1400 range. But what I think is, if it does come back and gives us an ABC pattern in this case, this may be probably becoming a ABC perfect ABC bullish pattern, but we are not there anywhere close to it. In order for that to happen, it needs to come back and retest this rectangle low, something like about 1235. That may be, if it does show some kind of a positive price action, maybe an entry point to get in, and that becomes a perfect ABC pattern. If it does happen, we will be probably looking at again something like a $1,500 kind of a gold a price, but it's not going to happen quickly today. But this may take quite a few months to do it. But if I do not have a position in GLD or gold, but I will wait for these positions to happen. The next one is so now let's go ahead and start looking at the equities itself. Before I start, I am actually presenting a presentation for ICE Intercontinental Exchange on August 15th. This information will be posted on my website, and also if you guys can go to ICE, you will probably be ICE website. You will be seeing their I guess it's in the education section or something, and there you will be seeing this pretty soon. I think on Monday their link and for registering this presentation. It's a free presentation. It's actually sponsored by both ICE and also the trade station. It's going to be on August 15th. The time is 4:30. Please do check for the time again, because once I get confirmation, I will be posting the time on website too. So here is the Apple. So look at what's going on with Apple. Apple made a fantastic double bottom type of a pattern, and it's moving up. I still don't have a position in Apple, but of course there was a double bottom, but there's a kind of a fear associated with it. So because of that reason, I have not traded Apple. I think the first targets may be something like a $476 kind of thing. One of the other thing I'm also this is kind of developing in this case is what I call is it's a pretty long kind of a I guess X5 pattern, but this pattern to completely completed, and it really needs to go much more higher. This is just a pretty pattern at this point, but let's not anyway to trade it. This could have been traded. There was a ABC there was a bullish Gartley pattern at the bottom. I only looked at it. I have not traded it because I think I wasn't too confident in trading this Apple trade, so that's the reason I missed it. But I have traded Amgen. I have closed my position in Amgen right now. I think there was one day it was a scare just before their earnings came out, I believe. Oops, where is my earnings module on that? Hold on, let's just see if I can now. Okay, I got back to my earnings dates. It was kind of hiding behind it. So right now I brought it back a little bit down. So now we can see this. The earnings of Amgen came on um, July 30th, a couple of days ago. On that day, I guess I took out the positions out, so I am out of it. But I am still thinking Amgen would move between 114 and $120. This has a great ABC pattern, which I was lucky to trade it somewhere about close to $100 kind of range. The next one is the Bank of America. I have earnings here also, of course, on this radar screen I have earnings too, so you can see this is the earnings. And then let me show you my app, which is kind of done now. This is the app. I hope you guys can see this. This is the app which actually shows me so if you do a full screen, actually you can see a lot more visible. And then I also added this pretty neat thing called a more button. A more button, basically it shows you the entire list of stocks, because sometimes you may have more than 20 stocks reporting in a single day. So you could actually just pull this into you can click on the more button, and then it will show you all the stocks which at least from your universe, whatever is happening. Anyway, let's just not get sidetracked with that. Let's go to all right here. So now we have a Bank of America. Bank of America is also, the next earnings are not due until like I don't know, 75 days. It's coming in October. Bank of America is doing extremely well, and I believe their targets are between $15 and $16. And there's a couple of stocks which are great. Is in Bank of America, and I'm also another one I'm looking at is also Ford. We'll talk about that in a second. Baidu was fantastic. It actually broke out of its lower range, and now it's heading quite a bit high. Their earnings are due again in October 28th, and so now Baidu's the upper side target is about $142, and that's actually pretty much at the third level of a targets. I guess usually after that we would definitely see some type of a retracement, but that's what I think it will happen. Then another stock which I traded greatly is the Checkpoint software. Checkpoint has a couple of things going on in Checkpoint. First of all, it is an ABC bullish pattern. Again, I am out of Checkpoint trade right now because I had a pretty good profit and I actually closed it a couple of days ago. But I think the higher end targets for Checkpoint is between $60 and $64. And also Checkpoint has a inverse head and shoulder pattern here. This is what is developing. So in this, the 100% of range is probably about $63. So that may be the minimum we may be seeing that. So that will probably fall into my $60 to $63, $64 price range, price targets. The next one, which is actually like I probably think there's only a few stocks in the entire year I have what I call it the disaster stocks, which I called it, and they all turned out to be losses. And I think there's only a couple of them, and I was very fortunate that a couple of them, and Broadcom is one of them. Definitely Broadcom, I had a wrong call on it, and I am oh no, I am still in the trade, but I know that they're going to with the options, so it will head to zero, which is okay. Once in a while, those are it's okay to have them, I think. But the next one I'm going to show you is the Cisco. Cisco has been doing fantastic, really an upswing, and I was lucky to capture the Cisco also quite a bit in the beginning of the year. Again, I'm not in Cisco right now, but I think the Cisco earnings are due on August 14th. And it's headed towards the $27 and $29, and I'm expecting that to be its targets. But it also has a pretty big, butterfly kind of a pattern which has been developing for quite some time. And here is the Cisco's butterfly pattern. So there also the targets may be like 27 and 27 and a half. So I'm not sure if it reverses from then, but that's where I think what we'll be looking for. The next one is that Deckers. Deckers has an ABC bullish pattern, and recently there was some kind of a negative talk, but I think I guess it is probably heading higher. I'm thinking it probably will go to 62 and 67. The one I talked about is a Ford. Ford is been doing phenomenally well for the past, since I guess since last year. And I think, I told a long time ago somebody actually during the Christmas time that this year we may see Ford about $20. And in fact, a friend of mine who actually worked in the past at Ford kind of laughed at it. But I have a feeling, right now it's 1750. I think I meet him time to time and I tell him that hey, it's going to go to $20. So it may be probably heading towards $20 to Ford. I do not have a position in Ford now. The next one is Fossil. Fossil has been doing incredibly well. Fossils, I guess, it's right now it is in the first target zone between 112 and $118. Their earnings are due, this coming week. One thing we definitely need to be cautious about is there's a lot of these clothing companies and also I guess fashion companies. Some of them are in not doing that extremely well. If you look at it, Nordstrom did pretty well. Ralph Lauren is doing well, but companies like recently, of course, Coach has had a big problem. So I'm expecting Fossil may see some type of a retracement too, but I do not have a position in Fossil too. The next one I'm closely watching is the First Solar. First Solar, I wanted to take this trade, but I missed it. Their earnings are again due within the next 4 days, which is again on August 6th. So the next set I'm expecting is probably Fossil's earnings are good. It probably would head between 61 and 67, but I am going to actually wait and see their earnings before I take the position into Fossil. The next one is IMAX. IMAX had a really great luck in the last few months, and now I do not have a position. So now I'm thinking of that. This is actually kind of a trading in a sideways in the last couple of weeks. So this may be probably setting up for an entry just about $25 kind of thing. It's trading today at 25.50. So if you do get into it, I think I'll probably look for 28 to $30 price range. This is another one, FXY, which is the Japanese yen. It's an ETF for Japanese yen. This is what I call it the perfect ABC bullish pattern. This is quite volatile, but I think this may be the one which I don't have a position, but I am actually thinking of it. And if I do take it, I'll be looking at the positions between the targets between 102 and 104. The next is the Intel. Intel is it has got great reviews in the last 6 months, and then in the last 2 months or so the Intel is not doing well. But I guess I was hoping that on this recent earnings I thought that it would come down to the $22, and I was kind of getting ready to take a position in Intel. So far I do not have it, but it is kind of setting up an ABC bullish pattern. So if it does, probably I will ride until this earnings, which is on October 15th, which is about 74 days from today. And then next one, I actually closed out my position on JDSU, but I did have a pretty good profit on JDSU, and I took out the position because I'm still expecting, that maybe we may be seeing some type of a retracement in the next week or two. So because of that, I'm kind of lightening up some of my positions too. The next one is I do not have a position here. This is a kind of again a clothing company which is not doing that well, although they have everyday fire sale kind of ads on TV. But I think I'm not sure, and I will be taking the position, but it is kind of showing a double bottom, as I'm not too confident in this clothing companies yet right now. The another great position I have is the Eli Lilly, which had a pretty good earnings in the last week, and now I have a position in Eli Lilly, and I'm expecting it to reach between 57 and 59. This also along with my other position in Pfizer. The next one is a Mercado Libre. This has been just on a fire. It's fantastic stock. This is of course just they had earnings yesterday. They really had a great earnings, and so now I think their targets are between $138 and $148. Cena is another one which has coming. Their earnings are coming out in 10 days, and this also broke out from its lower kind of a channel. It's not a first I thought it is like a inverse head and shoulders, but I do not believe it is. It doesn't completely fit into it, at least in my kind of trading rules. But one of the things what's happening is Cena had a descending triangle here, And then descending triangles, when they actually do not break down, they actually break out. And when you do break out, you look for the upper side trend line for breakouts, and usually they have a pretty violent and they go much higher if the so this is called like a kind of a failed descending triangle trade. I'm not in the trade, but I'm just telling about how it works. Let's see if I can close this. Yes, there. Uh, the other one is a Sohu. Sohu is also doing extremely well, along with the companies like the Baidu, Sohu, Sina, and these are the couple of stocks which I keep in my portfolio. These are pretty good stocks, and I think Sina is also heading ahead. It's almost like they had earnings recently, I believe, and now it's reached 65 was the target, and now it's actually already traded much above the 65. That would be it, guys, and I am, as I said, I'm presenting on August 15th for ICE. So I'll be posting this information on my website too. So please do join me. And the topic is trading harmonic patterns on ICE. I'll be using ICE. Products to show some of these structures, and I have a couple of great new topics and new research I'm adding into it, so it should be great educational. So that's good, that's it, and have a great weekend.